I was telling the team, give him a hand. Guy's diving on the floor, playing with energy. Would the rest of you please look at him and try to do what he's doing? Or do you think that's just let him do that, you're not going to do it?
Hey, that's how we do it here every week. We just try to mimic Daryl, whatever he does. Welcome to the Red and Blue Review. That's got to be who Cal was talking about, right?
Sure, yeah, Daryl Burke.
Daryl Burke, picking up his game. We're back here at the Yum Center. The Cardinals getting ready to take off for warmer environs they thought when they scheduled those games down in the Bahamas. It is fantastic here this weekend.
Oh, it's great, yeah.
Cardinals playing a little basketball. Cardinals will be playing some football. And as we say goodbye to Joker Phillips, at least on his home side of his schedule, we'll talk about Joker wrapping up his coaching career at Kentucky coming up this week. Right now, let's say hello to Daryl Burke of the Cat's Paws.
And the big question is, how does Louisville lose when they didn't play a game this weekend? The conference, they're bailing again. I'm telling you, Louisville, turn off the lights on the Big East Conference as you shut the door and get out of there, or there's not going to be anywhere to go.
Yeah, what Daryl's talking about, Howie, is it was announced that it appears that maybe Rutgers and Maryland will be going to the Big Ten, and then who would fill the gap in the ACC with Maryland's departure might be UConn, so Louisville could get left out on the shuffle again.
Could be UConn, could be Louisville.
Yeah.
None of that's, I don't think, been decided yet, but what a wild weekend in terms of upsets, in terms of the Maryland-Rutgers news, which I don't think anybody predicted.
Yeah.
The good thing, Louisville has all of their banners now just Velcroed on. Just like Kentucky has their Final Four banners, Louisville's got all their conference banners Velcroed on, ready to go.
All right, well, we're ready to go. Let's get into it right now as we jump right into the lightning round. Lightning round on the Red and Blue Review, brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, reminding you that one text or call could wreck it all. Well, the big man on campus this week for the University of Kentucky is Kyle Wiltjer. We could not say that last week after that Duke game, but Wiltjer really showed himself very well. 23 points in UK's win over Lafayette.
He has to work hard to create the shot before he catches. If he doesn't, then I'm going to play Willie. Just how it is, and I told him. I'm telling you what I told him. If you don't work hard to create space and a shot for yourself before you catch the ball, and I'm watching, you're out. Today, what he did, especially in the second half, he saw gaps and he raced to those gaps, and guys found him also, and he made shots. But he's not going to go 7 for 11 from the three every time. But I believe he can go 4 for 11, 5 for 11 every time. I believe that. I believe he's that good. But he can't do it jogging to a spot or not being prepared to shoot. You're not going to do it.
You know why Kyle Wiltjer couldn't get open last week against Duke?
Because he's slow.
Because he's slow, for one, I'll guarantee that. Last year, he had so much talent around him, he didn't have to work all that hard. He was going to be open. This year, it's like, the target's on me a little bit, so I've got to work. And he's been around long enough to know when Calipari says, you will do this or I will take away your minutes, he ain't bluffing.
Yeah.
He will take away his minutes. And what we saw, granted, it was only Lafayette, but Kyle went to work, and boy, can that boy shoot.
He can.
To be such a tall number 4, a 4-spot player, man, he can shoot lights out. And Cal's right, he's good for 5 for 11 threes every night. I think that's a little low. I think he's even better than that.
And when he shoots well from the outside, it forces the defense to come out and honor that, which makes room for everybody else to work in the low post.
Yeah, it absolutely spaces the floor, which is what you want. And he brings that aspect to it. And the coaches are like, are you serious? You got to plan for a 6'9" guy that can knock down threes left and right. That's tough to defend.
Yeah.
Well, the big man on campus for Louisville this week had better be Charlie Strong. 2 games left, 2 wins away from a BCS bowl game. So not only do the players have to pick themselves up after that loss last week to Syracuse, Charlie's got to do the same thing.
No, I just looked at it and I was just so frustrated and I was just so pissed off that, you know, here's a football team and you have a lot that you're playing for, and then for us to step into this environment and that's not play. And like I said, we just didn't play the way, just up to our ability. It's just, we were just doing some things that it was just, you know, you sat there on sideline, I'm saying like, wow, I just can't believe to myself, I'm saying, I cannot believe this is happening to us.
And he had that look about his face the whole second half. He's like, "You've got to be kidding me! You've got to be kidding me!
Come on, man!
I know, come on!" And I don't think he really even got over that until a day later. I mean, he even admitted it during the press conference. He was like, "I just could not believe that was happening." And you know, as much as he's learned about his team this year, that was a new lesson. That was, he thought that they were ready for a championship atmosphere, and they clearly were not.
Hey, but it wasn't only Louisville that had to learn the lesson. Oregon learned the lesson.
How about
Baylor
that?
taught the lesson to K-State. So everybody is learning. it's really hard to go undefeated in college football.
Absolutely. I didn't think anybody could beat Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, the other teams I thought, oh, somebody's going to beat them. Alabama, no way. And they had to learn the lesson too.
Well, let's talk about who got busted over the past week of basketball and football at both schools. And for Kentucky, who got busted was everybody except Nerlens Noel, because most of his game is above the rim, but he's not above getting on the floor.
The thing I'm telling our guys, the energy that Nerlens plays with. Think if I can get all my guys playing with that kind of energy. Alex Poitras, can't believe it. 9 out of 10, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 for 5 from the line, and I'm all over him. Yeah, because I want him to be the best version of him, not just play good. You're better than this. You can do more than this. So why won't you? It's hard. I know it's hard. Then you got to get in better shape. You got to force yourself mentally to do these things. And Archie, the same thing. Why wouldn't you end up with 10 rebounds a game? 10 rebounds a game. Now what do you become as a player? Scoring, assists, speed, 10 rebounds. What do you become? You're the best guard in the country. Why wouldn't you want to do that? It's hard. Rather just run out and let them mix it up. You get bumped in there. I mean, it's all stuff that we're capable of doing that I'm looking at these guys saying, I want the best version of you and the best version of our team.
Absolutely hilarious. This is our 4th year through with John Calipari, so we know what he's doing, but can you imagine the freshman? Alex Poitras has been getting yelled at all the time. He goes 9 for 10, thinking, pretty good, and Cal just ripped him nonstop, start to finish, and then again in the locker room afterwards is like, basically, all you guys are bums except Nerlens.
Yeah.
Nerlens dives on the floor. He's got energy nonstop. Alex has energy about half the time.
Yeah.
He still hasn't got past the point that I could get away with it in high school. I can't here. So, 9 for 10 is not going to be good enough. And I understand completely what Calipari is doing. It makes sense. If I get every one of my players to play the best they can be, my team will be the best it can be, and it's worked 3 years.
I think a lot of folks were wondering coming into this season who would play that MKG role, the Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. We probably thought it was going to be Poitras, but now it's showing signs that Nerlens is that guy, and Poitras could be, so you might have 2 guys with that kind of motor.
End up with 2. Now, at the beginning of the year, Calipari kept talking, do not compare Nerlens Noel to Anthony Davis. It's not fair. He's not Anthony, but he's bouncier. And I'm like, I've never heard.
Just compared him to
Tigger. I've never heard bouncier. I'm beginning to understand what he means by bouncier. He's all over the place, up, down, sideways. It doesn't matter. He's fun to watch. Howie's
got infants at home, so Tigger is right down here.
down here.
Baylor. All right, well, who got busted last week, we don't have to tell you, was the Louisville football defense, who absolutely got ripped apart by Syracuse.
Concern on defense is tackling and just gap control. And just looking at Saturday's game, it was a player out of his gap, and then once the ball breaks the line of scrimmage, get the guy on the ground. And we didn't do it. We didn't get the guy down. So it's all about tackling. It's about gap control, and it's what can be fixed. There's nothing that can't be fixed, and it's all about guys standing in their gaps, getting off of blocks, fitting blocks, and then getting the ball carrier on the ground.
Charlie Strong is so incredibly effective is he simplifies things. Defense is not that difficult. You tackle the guy, you get him on the ground. I don't know how many times he was asked about defense this past Monday with the press conference, and he just kept saying it. It's not that difficult. You just go get the guy and put him on the ground. And that's what he expects his defense to do. I think they got a wake-up call against Syracuse that had been a long time coming. Hopefully they learned from that lesson.
Well, usually the sequel is not as good as the original, and that's a question that Kentucky basketball fans have now. Back in the 70s with Joe B. Hall, it was the Twin Towers, and now in 2013, Cal may have the remake.
Well, what I liked was their ability to score the ball. Like, they can score. They can take you left-handed, right-handed. They can score. They're quick and agile. I mean, they can pass, but I want them to, first of all, score the ball in there. Look, I've coached all kind of ways over 20-some years. I've never had 2 guys like this in the post. I had DeMarcus Cousins, but he wanted to shoot 3s. All right, now you have these 2 guys. They're truly post players, and I have 2 of them. And so we got to play that way and force you to double team, and then we'll kick it out and shoot 3s.
What we're looking at here is it's very different. If you've got your mindset on Mike Phillips, Rick Roby, forget it. These guys are bouncy, remember the Tigger reference. And Willie Cauley-Stein is a lot better than we thought he would be, so that gives Cal the opportunity to play both guys, except they're not bangers in the sense. But did you notice he said, we're going to be different this year. We're going to push it to the post, and we're going to score in the post. That's drastically different than last year or any previous year he's been there. I like how he looks at his roster and says, okay, we're going to play this way. This is what we need to do.
What's nuts for the University of Louisville is the decision that Charlie Strong is going to have to make here with 2 games left in the season. So far, the injured running back, Dominic Brown, has been sidelined with injuries. They were going to try to redshirt him, but now with all the injuries, they may have to pull the red shirt off and let Dominic play in the last 2 games.
Well, we just got to see just how we stack up at running back right now. You went with Sonoris and Jeremy for so long. Now you have Corbin and Jeremy, and if we have to use Dominique, we will.
You know, these are the types of decisions that just drive coaches nuts. I mean, you think about, they've had this guy, he was probably healthy after about week 2 or 3.
Yeah.
They decided to redshirt him because they've got 2 healthy backs. They've got a young kid who they could bring in. Injuries have essentially forced them to the point where the 2 games left, they may have to pull the kid's red shirt.
Yep.
And I think really at this point, it all comes down to what Dominic Brown wants to do. Does he want to play? Does he want to, you know, essentially it's 2 games in a big bowl.
Yeah.
Now he could, you know, make a lot of hay for himself in that big bowl game. So I think if he wants to play, you play him. If he understands that, hey, you could get an extra 2 full years,
right,
and he sees that side of it, then you let him do it. At this point, it's almost a kid's decision.
If he doesn't decide to play the red shirt, either the player's decision or the coach's,
right,
who gets the extra carries now?
Yeah, it's down to Jeremy Wright and Corvin Lamb. Those are the 2 guys. Jeremy Wright was the leading rusher. Corvin Lamb's the young kid. Corvin Lamb, he's got, 4 touches and 2 touchdowns. So he's explosive.
Nice.
The question is, does he know all the plays? Does
Yeah.
he know all the protections, all that kind of thing? So I think you'll have to find out. In my preference, just give the ball to Teddy more. Let him throw it more. Those extra 10
Yeah.
carries, make those passes.
Yeah.
Why not? He can handle it.
Offensive coordinator Howie Lindsey will be back with more football coming up in just a bit. Well, this portion of the Red and Blue Review is brought to you by Steepleton's in St. Matthews. Steepleton is the home of the Gorilla, Jacuzzi, Big Green Egg, Spring Free Trampoline. Steepleton, building family fun in Louisville since 1910. When we come back here at the Yum Center as the Cards get ready to take off and head to the Bahamas for a weekend of Thanksgiving basketball, it was being carried out of the stadium, Joker Phillips, for the last time at Commonwealth. Darryl will talk about that after he tells us about the Cat's Paws.
And yes, you heard Gary right. We are back at the Yum Center. Come on,
Welcome home, Darryl.
Yeah, welcome home. I survived last week, and you bring us back here. We do appreciate it. If I'm not here next week, at least take care of the Cat's Paws for me. I'd appreciate it. My family would like it. You can subscribe 800-641-3302.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Buying your next VW from Bachman Volkswagen will be a great experience. No games or gimmicks, competitive prices, and a huge inventory make #1 Bachman the place to get your Volkswagen. The all-new 2012 Jetta, an IHS top safety pick, is a great vehicle and fun to drive. Or get the sporty all-new 2012 Volkswagen Beetle. It's back and better than ever. Come to #1 Bachman Volkswagen today to get your new Volkswagen before someone else does.
Bachman makes a difference.
If you're like me, you're dreading the thought of higher energy costs this season. That's why I call my friends at Doug Jones Home Improvement, who's been doing quality work at a fair price for over 40 years. Doug Jones Home Improvement offers maintenance-free replacement windows, insulated vinyl siding, and airtight entry doors. They're priced fairly with no high-pressure sales tactics or hidden fees. Doug Jones Home Improvement prides itself on keeping the weather outside while keeping you comfortable inside.
For a free estimate, call us at 366-0291.
Yeah, I just picked her We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Hello, Gunner here at Steepleton. What needs fixing this week is Thanksgiving dinner. There's nothing better to do it on than the Big Green Egg. This is a large egg, regular price $8.49, on sale through Black Friday, $6.99. Now back to the Red and Blue Review.
Thank you, Gunner. We were at Steepleton on our pregame show and fixed us a pizza on that Big Green Egg.
It was good, too.
Pretty impressive, Gunner says.
It's like an oven outside.
It is. Hey, we're going to talk about a lot of football and basketball right now in our Game Time storyline. This portion of the Red and Blue Review brought to you by the Kentucky State Police. As you're hitting the road here for the holidays, remember the KSP is going to be on patrol ticketing for aggressive driving. So watch out, or you may get a visit this weekend from a KSP officer that you really don't want to meet heading into the holidays. Well, topic number one for Game Time storyline is Joker Phillips coaching his final game at Commonwealth Stadium. He says he's really been kind of numb to the whole process of ending his 25-year relationship with UK.
Numb to all this, you know. I'm sure I'm pretty numb to all of this. Understand it, but it's just a numbing feeling that you realize it's time to go. You know, it's time to go, and I understand that. We've done this thing the right way, and you know, we've done a lot of things here. We've been to 8 bowl games rather, out of the 15. None of them have asterisks beside them. Okay, none of them have asterisks beside them. Okay, and that's important to me.
Yeah, Joker was absolutely determined to run a program that had no asterisks beside anything during his tenure, and we saw that, and I thought that was a really honest answer, because the question was, wow, what's it like to get carried off by your players at the end? And he's like, I'm kind of really numb to it all. I didn't really have a lot of emotion, and I don't think that was like he was probably thrilled to be carried off, because like, guys, I got fired.
Yeah.
Let me down, please.
Yeah.
So it's a very weird, and it was a very eerie kind of a feeling at the game, watching him coach, knowing that in the post-game press conference, all kind of very surreal, kind of a weird feeling to it. Give him some time, you know, he needs to get away from it. He said he may sleep forever now that all this is over. And then, you know, he'll pick up, he'll get on with his life, he'll be just fine. That buyout ain't bad.
We're doing our show here at the Yum Center, which is, of course, the home to Howie Lindsey and Peyton Siva until 2013. Then a new guy will come in to replace Peyton Siva, and that's most likely going to be junior college player Chris Brown.
You know, I was with Bill Self, and we both felt that there wasn't a finer guard out there today. We were talking about it, and he's just somebody right away that is a threat from anywhere on the court, can go by you, can pick you up 94 feet and harass you. He gets in the lane. He's learned to be a very good passer. So you needed somebody who's more mature to come in, obviously, because these guys are replacing terrific backcourt players.
I think Chris Jones is tremendous. This kid is extremely talented. Some top programs are coming after him, and he's the type of player that is not just an offensive threat. He's a tremendous defender. He's very physical. He's only about 5'10", so he doesn't have that great height that you look for. But you know, if he did have that great height, he'd probably be in the pros by now, because you only have to be out of high school for a year. So he's a very, very good player, and probably a good fill-in for Peyton Siva.
There'll be a new football coaching staff at Kentucky next year because of wins and losses. It always does come down to that. But with this particular staff, it's a little deeper than that in Lexington.
And a couple of our guys stood up and says, this is the first staff they've ever been on that from top to bottom the staff has character and the staff cares about it. That hit me. That's what this thing is about, to me. Might not be that to anybody else, but that's what it's about to me.
Joker has done a really good job, I guess you could call it good, of hiding his emotions throughout this entire ordeal. You want to take a peek inside? Tell him how much you're hearing the players brag about what he means to them. And wow, that you get really close. You can tell you're hitting a nerve there when the players say, man, he saved my life. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Joker. He's given me a chance. I don't care what anybody says. I'm a Joker man all the way. That stuff hits home with him.
And that's why no one wanted to see Joker fired, because he was the coach forever there as long as he wanted, if he'd had success. And I think 99% of the population was pulling for him.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Kentucky really needed for him to succeed. And it just didn't work out that way, unfortunately.
Well, typically it doesn't work out for freshmen to come in and play for Rick Pitino their first year, so why can junior college transfer Chris Jones do the deal?
I think it would be difficult for most players, but not for him. I think he's very special basketball player, because you don't get too many guys that, you know, I know a high school story that his coaches tell, that he got so upset at his teammates, and because they weren't playing hard enough and they were losing, he said, you all go to one side of the floor, I'll take over the game and we'll win this thing. And he did it. And so he's just a unique young man who I don't think I've ever recruited a player as much as anybody that hates to lose as much as him. So I don't have any doubt in my mind that he can handle a position. Now, if it was, you know, someone 17, 18 years old, that's different. But he's very, very well coached. You know, he's playing for a college assistant coach, and Coach Forbes is really a terrific coach. So he's going to be fundamentally very sound when he comes in.
This is probably the kid to do it. He's extremely talented, one, which is part of the recipe. The other side is he's extremely competitive. And those two things typically make great Rick Pitino players. You got good talent, even marginal talent, but you're extremely competitive and you love basketball, and that's what this kid is. I think he'll be good.
We come back, we'll tell you why the difference maker is third down and the first Noel. As we head to the break, Howie's going to tell us about CardinalSports.com.
Absolutely. CardinalSports.com is the best source for all your post-game news, videos. We've got post-game stories from the locker room. We take you inside the locker room, hear from the players, hear from the coaches. What did they have to say after these different games? Check it out at CardinalSports.com.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Buying your next VW from Bachman Volkswagen will be a great experience. No games or gimmicks, competitive prices, and a huge inventory make #1 Bachman the place to get your Volkswagen. The all-new 2012 Jetta, an IHS top safety pick, is a great vehicle and fun to drive. Or get the sporty all-new 2012 Volkswagen Beetle. It's back and better than ever. Come to #1 Bachman Volkswagen today to get your new Volkswagen before someone else does.
Bachman makes a difference.
If you're like me, you're dreading the thought of higher energy costs this season. That's why I call my friends at Doug Jones Home Improvement, who's been doing quality work at a fair price for over 40 years. Doug Jones Home Improvement offers maintenance-free replacement windows, insulated vinyl siding, and airtight entry doors. They're priced fairly with no high-pressure sales tactics or hidden fees. Doug Jones Home Improvement prides itself on keeping the weather outside while keeping you comfortable inside.
For a free estimate, call us at 366-0291.
I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. yet. I know.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Red and Blue Review coming to you this week from the Yum Center. If you want us to come and do a show in your place, contact us here at the Red and Blue Review. You can do that at my email address, gupton@redandbluereview.net. Spell the whole thing out, gupton@redandbluereview.net. Well, the difference maker for Kentucky is Nerlens Noel. Don't blame him because Kentucky is struggling to rebound the ball.
And all of a sudden, Nerlens is covering for everybody. The issue becomes then he goes to block a shot in the lane. He's not blocking him outside the lane. He's doing what we're asking. Last year, someone always picked up Anthony's man. This year, no one's picking up his man. Why? Because they're running out. They're not even attempting to rebound. So when people say, well, he's going after every block shot, no, he's not. He's playing how we want him to. What's happening, the backline defense isn't playing. They're stopping and not only not helping, they're running out. But that's all the stuff we've been working on.
Very important bite. I want to make sure I got in the show. Everybody says they're not rebounding because everybody's trying to block a shot. Cal said, no, they're supposed to block shots. Somebody's supposed to go weak side. It ain't happening.
And Howie, one thing that Louisville has to do against Syracuse, get off the field on 3rd and 4th down.
Syracuse is 14 of 19 on 3rd downs. That's got to stop.
And we'll see what they do when we rejoin you back here next week on the Red and Blue Review.